again with you. I am an international trade specialist at the Ministry of Trade, and I work in the Department of E-Export, Digital Marketing, Behavioral Public Policies, and Next Generation Technologies, where we develop public policies to support Turkish e-export companies and facilitate their expansion into new markets. Thank you for joining us today. This is our 5th webinar, and until now, we held a webinar with Allegro, Walmart, Africa Sogoni, and Joom. Today, our guest is Richard Philippe from JUMIA, a strategically important marketplace in the African region. JUMIA has several suppliers from Turkey already, and Richard will soon be talking about JUMIA and how Turkish sellers can list their products on JUMIA in detail. Before we start your presentation, Richard, let me quickly remind everyone that we are just 12 days away from Istanbul Global E-Export Summit. The summit, I will be talking very shortly about the summit also. The summit will bring together senior executives from over 25 regional and global marketplaces, including Walmart, Wayfair, About You, Otto, Noon, Kaufland, IGEXX, JUMIA, Shopee, Amazon India, GD, Shein, Ozone, and Wildberries. Participants can expect professional engagement from marketplaces, multi-channel retailers, digital payment service providers, successful SMEs, suppliers, software integrators, and more. The sessions will feature well-known keynote speakers and expert panelists discussing global trends in digital transformation, next-generation technologies, e-commerce strategies, and digital marketing also. We are also working on B2B meetings. These B2B meetings will provide participants with the opportunity to meet one-to-one with leading global marketplaces. So to seize this unique chance, fill out the B2B registration form on our website. I would like to emphasize that this event is exclusively for professionals, offering an excellent opportunity to build significant business networks. Now I will turn the focus back to our webinar. This webinar is part of our ongoing collaboration with marketplaces, especially participating in the IGEXX this September. And JUMIA will be there with us. Richard will be there, and the CEO of the JUMIA, Francis Dufay, will be with us also. And now I would like to give the floor to Richard to introduce himself and also present about JUMIA. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Richard. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Rukiye, for this short introduction. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining on late Friday evening. Very excited to be here. So I'm going to quickly introduce myself. So my name is Richard. I've been working for JUMIA for the last 10 years. So I'm vice president. And prior to that, I was leading commercial team in Ivory Coast and in Morocco for 7 years. So very excited to be there. So I'm going to share my screen. Ricky, can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yeah, right now we can see it. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So today I want to give you a brief introduction of what is JUMIA. I want to share also with you the potential of the African market, and then discuss a bit more in detail what are the categories that we are looking for today, what are the categories that are working well at JUMIA, and how to sell on JUMIA. So I know that for most of you, Africa is a black box, and you don't know much about this region. So I'm going to try to give you as much insight as possible. So first, JUMIA. So JUMIA was founded 12 years ago. So we have about 3,000 employees, and we are operating in 11 markets in Africa. So Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt in North Africa, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria in West Africa, and then Uganda, Kenya, and then South Africa. So biggest market for us today in terms of size, orders, etc. are Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco, and Ivory Coast. So we deliver about a bit more than 20 million package last year. And as you can see on the presentation, we are partnering with big brands, and we're also already partnering with some of the famous fashion Turkish brands. So we are a marketplace, and also a specificity that we have in Africa, where the logistic is not very mature. So we have our own logistic network with our own warehouses, with pickup station, and with a big logistic network. So today we have a big footprint across all our markets, delivering on door delivery and on pickup stations. Okay. So we offer a large base of products to our consumer. And today on JUMIA, you can buy shoes, you can buy phone, you can buy home appliances, etc. Similar than on other marketplaces that you will find in Turkey, like Trendyol or Hepsiburada. And we also have like our cash payment system with JUMIA Pay that will work similarly as PayPal. So few numbers that I can give you. So today we have roughly a bit more than 200 million SKU product live, and we are in top 5 downloaded app in all the markets where we're operating, with more than 50 million app downloads and many visits that we had over the last X number of years. So the sourcing network that we have. So today we have about 50,000 local vendors and about 11,000 international vendors that are mainly based in China. So we work with local sourcing, with local brands, but we also work with international brands such as De Facto, Adidas, L'Oréal, Samsung, etc. So today, what I want to share with you is that still today, our biggest battle is sourcing products. And that's where I think that Turkish brands, Turkish manufacturers, Turkish merchants have a role to play in Africa, because it's very hard to find good products at good prices with constant supply. So today, you're able to win market share and do sales as long as you are able to offer cheap products, good quality products, and that you're able to have like a good assortment for markets. So if we look at Africa and the potential of Africa, so when you look at demographic trends today, you see that most of the regions in the world are slowing down in terms of population. Even China is slowing down. Europe has been slowing down for many years. Japan has been slowing down, etc. Africa, on the opposite, is accelerating, and it's accelerating very fast. So it's the fastest region in terms of demographic growth, because today half of the population is below 18 years old. There is a very high number of babies per parents, fecundity rate, and the life expectancy is also growing, meaning that the population is going to grow fast, and is going to grow faster than anywhere else in the world. To give you an idea, Nigeria projections are going to be close to 500 million people in 25 to 30 years. Okay, so we are expecting Africa to represent 25% of the population by 2050, compared to 17% today. The e-commerce penetration is still very small when you compare it to the other region in the world, which means that there is still also a lot of potential to growth. And internet penetration is also lower than in the rest of the market, but it's catching up very fast. thanks to phone and mobile penetration. Today, if you look at traffic on Jumia, 80% of our traffic is coming from mobile. So either from the app or from the mobile site. So you see here on the right that it's the fastest growing numbers in terms of internet users from 2010 to 2020, and the trend is going to be similar in the coming years for Africa. So we see that we have a very large consumer base, but what we need also to consider, and what I want also to share with you, is that people are still very price sensitive. So what we are looking at is we want to be able to offer affordable products to our consumer. People online are always looking for good opportunities and good prices. Today, most of the population is rural, so going to cities, but we are also able to reach those rural areas that are today underserved. So if you look at a country like Ivory Coast, where it's very concentrated around the capital Abidjan, the economical capital Abidjan, we are able to deliver 70% of our products outside major cities, thanks to our logistic network and thanks to the pickup station. So the retail landscape is still very poor. The big malls, the big retailers, they are not going to go in those areas, meaning that there is a very high potential and very big opportunity for us, because we are addressing a clear problem to those consumers that are not able to buy from retailers or from the malls. So they have very low assortment available for them, and the assortment that they will have offline is going to be very expensive. Still also, more context on the market environment is that today most of the transaction is still done in cash in Africa. So you can see here a few insights from different research that Jumia is one of the top brands for African, and it's the most visited website and marketplace across the continent by far. These are like the different other big marketplaces in Africa, and Jumia is five times bigger in terms of traffic than the other biggest competitors. Okay, so today, what are we looking at? So what I want to do, and the opportunity that I would like to have with the Turkish vendors, is we want to find products that are fitting in those categories that are today very important for us, and that are also today big strengths of the manufacturer in Turkey. So home decoration, home textile, kitchen, fashion, and men, women, baby, and kids that are today very underserved in terms of what we can find for baby and kids in Africa. It's still very, very poor in terms of offer. And then accessory, shoes, and bags. If we look at the top category for us, so fashion is representing 25% of our volume. So it's the biggest category in terms of volumes for us. So it's a very important category, but it's also nearly 30% of our traffic. And we see that also why fashion and home are also those three categories are also very important for us, is that we can see that the repeat purchase are higher than any other category. So today, these are like the Turkish partners that are already like live on Jumia, that are already operating with us. And you can see that many of them are also already market leaders. Okay, so what we've seen, and this is also something that I was sharing with you, is that we've been able to launch some new Turkish brands that were not available offline in the markets for example, in a market like Nigeria, we've been able to launch products without them having a local entity, without them having stores, without them having any marketing of their own, and became first fashion brand after a few months because few things. They were able to deliver good prices in the price range that we are looking at. They were able to support with regular promotions. They were able to do, like, with our support, monthly marketing campaign to target the customer that will be relevant. And then providing also a wide selection of products and a good inventory management. So those, like, basic, I will say, retail rules help them to become number one in a market where they had no offline presence. So there is something that I would like to highlight, and I know that even like for Turkish vendors, the competition in some markets with Chinese players like Temu or the Shein that are able to provide thousands and thousands of new SKU on a weekly basis, that are able to produce at a very, very cheap price, competition is tough. So what we want to do and how we want to focus and address that problem is that changing the value proposition. So today, if you look at a consumer that will be based in Morocco or in Nigeria, if he buys on an international marketplace, or if he buys from Shein in China, he will get delivered in 10 to 15 days. He will pay high delivery fees. He will need to pay in dollars in advance. And the quality of the products are going to be doubtable. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have like a totally different proposition by having stock in consignment, what we call JUMIA Express. So it's similar than fulfilled by Amazon. So that will allow us to have next day delivery, free delivery for consumer, payment cash in advance in local currency instead of 10 days before the shipment, before you receive the product in dollar, and with a good quality products. Okay. In that model, what we see is also a big advantage for vendors, because it's much more easier, because they don't need to manage order fulfillment. They don't need to manage returns. They don't need to manage cash collection, etc., because Jumia is taking care of all this, and we are sharing payments on a weekly or bi-weekly basis based on what has been sold to our consumers. So how to join Jumia? So you just need to register with your ID and your business card. So joining is free. You can have as many products as you want, and there are no payments until anything has been sold. Okay. And what we will do is also for new joiners and for IGEXX is that we will offer 2 months of free storage plus free advertising package for the launch phase for the first month. So this is like a commercial playbook. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but this is similar than what you will find on other marketplaces. So the register on Jumia, you will have a QR code at the end of the call so that you can directly connect from your phone and log in. But so you'll need to pass the KYC with your ID and business card. And then what we will do is that we will help you with some data sharing, with some recommendation to have like the right selection of products with the right target prices. Then make sure that the commission that I will share after is like relevant, and you will adjust on your own your prices, and then have a shipment plan to make sure that we have the product in stock in our warehouse, and then making sure also that we have like a proper follow-up of the inventory. and then you get paid on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So those are like the different commission levels that you will have for the different categories. So this is something again that you will be able to find on the vendor center that I will share with you again by the end of the call. You'll have the QR code. But again, so what's important is that similar as other marketplaces, I'm sure that many of you are already selling either on Turkish marketplaces, Hepsiburada, Trendyol, or even like international marketplaces, is that you are in charge of controlling the prices, and we will take commission based on the selling price on the platform, and you guys are managing your pricing strategy. So fees, so those are the shipping and processing fees per delivered final item. I've seen that I received some questions for some vendors. So those fees are only charged, and same for the commission for delivered final items. So if there is a product that has been shipped to a consumer that has been canceled or that is in return, you won't be charged anything. Okay. Storage fee, so we will offer storage fee for the first 2 months. And then the shipping fees, they are mainly, they are supported by the consumer and then JUMIA. So one of the good things as well about JUMIA and the power of marketplaces and online is that JUMIA is not just a selling and distribution channel, it's also a very powerful advertising channel. So again, based on the necessary, your request and based on what you need, we will be able to provide you different channels to push and to promote your products and to create brand awareness, such as banners on the website, display banner, sponsored product, etc., push notifications, CRM, etc. So this is something that I guess we need to discuss in a next step on how to promote your product. Okay. Those are like the recipe for success. It's going to echo a bit what I was mentioning before on the success case that we had with Turkish partners in Nigeria and in other markets. But most important is to make sure that we have competitive pricing that are fitting in the market requirement. The second most important part, I will say that we need to make sure that the products, we have good quality products that will be making sure that also the customer will be happy and come back. We need to make sure that the content is properly done with few images, good product description, also to make sure that when consumers are coming on your products, they are converting, and then proposing a large assortment of products and fast delivery. So this is not rocket science. This is not different than what you will have on other marketplaces and on what you're doing already on your current business. So we will support JUMIA, we will support new joiner with teams that will be dedicated to onboard you and to support you on the process, making sure that you have like a dedicated person that will be in charge of the communication. So all the content, guidelines, etc., will be available on the vendor hub that you will find again at the end of the presentation. And what we want to provide you is to help you share with you the right level of data that will help you pilot and take the right decision for your business, from selecting the products to what to do when the product is already live, what products are converting well, what products are not converting well, etc. And also best practices from what we've seen with other partners and other marketplaces. Here, you will have the QR codes to start selling on Jumia and register on the left. And then on the right, you will have all the supplementary information that you will need. Information about creating your content, managing prices, etc., or processes, returns that you will find directly on this page. So I'll pause maybe just a few seconds so that you can also screen if you want to directly go on those websites. That's it. That's it on my end.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard, for that excellent presentation about Jumia. Thank you very much. Now I have a few questions that will help our participants to better understand how to succeed on your platform. My first question will be like, you mentioned in your presentation that opening an account on Jumia is straightforward. Could you tell us if it is mandatory to set up a company in the African region to sell on Jumia? And how can companies open a bank account in these countries to facilitate their sales on Jumia?
So it's not mandatory. So we have like a list of 3PLs that can be importer of record for you guys, for the merchants, for the partners. So they will be able to import your products on your name. And same for payment. We have agents or we have payment methods that allows you not to have like a local bank account.
Oh, I see.
So you're able to basically test the market. The only thing that you need is investing in stock and products.
Investing in stocks, yeah. Being ready with the stocks. I see. If we like to talk about importance of well-formatted content, what should product images and descriptions look like on your marketplace? Do you have any tips for proper categorization and labeling also?
Yeah, so maybe I can share again my screen. So this is what I will say, like the perfect example of what we should do. Okay, so you have a hero image. You have secondary image that will explain the products. You have a name that will be clear. With the name, they will have already most of the information. Then you make sure that you feature all the key points in several bullet points, like a description that is like complete. But I think that images are maybe something that is even more important today. And then have good ratings and reviews from the customer. Video, it's not something, it's a nice to have, it's not a must have, but it's even better. But I know that if it exists, it's good to have it. If not, I think that it's expensive to create it. But yeah, those are like an example of what it should look like. And I will say that it's similar than what you will find on other marketplaces.
I see, yeah. Thank you. Maybe a follow-up question. Is there any prohibited products or categories that require documentation for sale on your platform?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, counterfeits, replicas, etc. Those are like something that are like not authorized to sell. And we have like rules to make sure that those products are not selling on the platform. Replicas of Adidas, of Puma, or whatever, of luxury brands, etc. We cannot sell replicas. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not something that you can sell. And then obviously drugs, guns, etc. Obviously, this is not something that you can sell.
Yeah, mostly the illegal things.
Exactly.
Are obviously
Illegal
not...
products and counterfeit products, because we want to make sure that like counterfeit products are really something that is destroying the customer experience. And it's not something that we want to do because we are investing so much money in bringing customers. So we want to make sure that they're happy and that they are coming back. So no counterfeit.
Yeah, of course, I understand. If you like to talk about pricing and inventory management more, it's very crucial for success. How should companies handle product pricing and inventory management on JUMIA? Do you have any suggestions for competitive pricing strategies?
Yes, so I think that on the pricing strategy, again, this is something that we can help you. We can help the partners and the vendors by providing them maybe average selling price on each category at level 1, 2, or 3, making sure that you are on the right range of pricing fitting the consumer needs. Then I will say a bit similar than what people are doing, like brands and companies are doing offline, making sure that you are looking at the competitor prices and that you're in the right range, making sure also that you are participating to big promotions, Black Friday, obviously, JUMIA anniversary, etc. So we need to make sure that we have this kind of promotion that will, acquire, where you will acquire more customer, where you will create a brand awareness. So yeah, look at competitive prices, look at like competition, look at the average selling price on the platform, and look at and participate to regular promotion. And then on the inventory management, I mean, again, similar than any normal business, when you see that something is staying in the warehouse, having like a regular repricing strategy after 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days to make sure that there are no unsold items that are just staying in the warehouse and that are a waste of space for us. That is a waste of money for the vendors.
Yeah, I understand. You touched on different commission rates for various categories in your presentation. Could you briefly explain why and how these rates vary on JUMIA?
Yeah, so I mean, the rates, they are depending on the competition and the landscape of the market. They are based also on the margin pools that there is between distribution, retailers, etc. And they're also based on average selling price of the product. For example, electronics category, where margins are very thin and where prices are higher, will have smaller categories than fashion or beauty, where the margins are more comfortable. Price is lower.
I see. Yeah. As it gets bigger, I see. In your presentation also, you mentioned JUMIA carries out fulfillment. But can you provide more details about how is your model and what is the benefit of having... Sorry?
Yes, fulfillment, you mean?
Fulfillment, yeah. What's the benefit to have fulfillment from JUMIA directly while they are selling on your platform?
So you mean like from our own warehouse, like fulfilled by Amazon?
Yeah, similar to, do you have a model similar to that one?
So
I think
exactly.
there was one point.
It's what we call JUMIA Express. And what we call JUMIA Express is, for us, and what we've seen, the best customer experience possible, because fast delivery, free delivery, so it's very good in terms of customer experience. And it's also very comfortable for the vendors because you don't need to worry about fulfilling the orders. You don't need to worry about managing the returns. And so that's what we've seen is today the best model. And you're also going to be boosted in the algorithm because your product is going to be more visible, because the conversion rate is going to be better, etc. So better growth, better customer experience, and easier for in terms of vendor experience and management.
I see. I think I have a related question on the YouTube. Someone is asking how and where logistic company can apply for being JUMIA's logistic provider or 3PL partner.
So that's you can send me an email You can send me an email. Can I write my email?
Yeah, I think they can see it, or maybe you can spell also if you like. It's all up to you.
Okay. I've shared it on the chat.
Yeah.
So char.philippe@jumia.com, and just make it clear in the title exactly what the request is, and I will be able to reach out with you or me or someone from my team.
Mhm.
And what we are looking at today,
Yes.
so maybe also for the person who asked, is that we are looking at 3PLs that are able to take products directly from Turkey, that are shipping sea freight in our different markets, and that are able to clear the products and deliver to our warehouse. So those are like the services that we are looking for.
Yeah. I will go on with some other questions. What should Turkish exporters pay attention in terms of cargo and logistics? And do you like to provide some information about custom process also?
So, I mean, on that, this is something that we'll discuss directly with 3PLs, depending on the 3PLs and specificity of the market. So it can vary from a market to another. So I don't want to really go into details on that one. But this is part of the onboarding process, and this is also part of the thing that you'll see with the 3PLs and that will help you clearing the goods directly for each market.
I see. So they 3PLs are
Yeah,
in the middle of this process. I see.
exactly.
You also mentioned about payments and some vendors that you have, but what are the payment options available? Can we just underline it? And then how do payments collection process work? Could you outline the general steps involved?
So basically, we have few ways to operate. So through a local agent that will handle the payment directly for you, or through Pioneer account that will directly pay you on the Pioneer account. So Pioneer is a financial service provider where you will be able to directly receive the payment through Pioneer. So you don't need to open a local bank account.
On a local bank account. And this bank account can be in any African country, you mean, right?
No, I mean you can have like
Turkish company.
Yeah, exactly.
Any Turkish bank account
Exactly.
is gonna be fine. I see. Great. And let's touch upon some return process part. Could you walk us through the steps in the product return process for both customers and sellers on Jumia?
Yeah.
And what is the return period for consumers?
Okay. So this is the return process on the customer side. So usually customer will have 10 days to make a request for return. What I would like to share with you is that today returns is maybe, below 1 or 2% of the total volume. So customer returns is very small. You will see returns, but it's something that you might call returns, but it's not real returns for us. It's usually failed delivery. Failed delivery because today, as I was mentioning earlier in the presentation, 70 to 80% of our business and of our volumes are done pay cash on delivery. So sometimes you will see a customer that is going to change his mind, not going to pick his order at the pickup station, not to be reachable by the delivery guy, etc. And this is going to be something around 15%, depending on the markets. But what we do is that you usually won't see it with the consignment and JUMIA Express model, because this order is going to be put back in stock and is going to be used for another delivery. And then, so on the vendor side, so usually what we want to return is our products that are more than 180 days, the products that are unsellable, and also the other last possibility is that vendors want to have like returns on their own. Okay, this is something that is usually a waste of money for both vendors and JUMIA. So what we recommend is to make sure that we have like a proper management of the inventory to make sure that we avoid this kind of situation. And by that, again, applying the rules that I was discussing with you. So items that are not selling fast enough, like maybe discounting them on a regular basis and making sure that you monitor properly the inventory.
Inventory set, yeah, I see. Thank you. Richard, we have some questions from participants again on the channel. I would ask them to you. I think you also already answered some of them, but one question is having a Turkish bank account is enough for payment? This is the question. I just want to reiterate.
You need to have like a Pioneer account, but this is also something that is very easy to create.
So a Pioneer account.
Yeah.
We can say that. And
as well, maybe, I mean, through the local agent, it's also something that we can see through the local agent, maybe pay directly on the Turkish account. This is also this might be an option as well.
And someone asks, what's gonna be the currency when the payment happens?
So
it's gonna be in Turkish.
Pioneer, if it's Pioneer, it's going to be USD. If it's through local agent, depending on what the vendor wants and needs. Or most likely Turkish lira, otherwise maybe dollar.
I see. And I will go on with another question from the participants also. The question asks if they don't use fulfillment from JUMIA, so JUMIA Express, right? How the return process will work then?
So today, this is the only method that we are going to propose to Turkish vendors and to our international vendors. We propose only consignment and JUMIA Express, because drop shipping from Turkey, it's not something that we today have invested in because of the reason that I was mentioning. Today, what we've seen is that the customer experience from international drop shipping is not good enough. So it's not something that we want to today to spend time and invest on. Maybe in 6-12 months, something that we will consider if there is very high demand. But right now, we are only focusing on JUMIA Express.
I see. So they're going to use the fulfillment from JUMIA to sell them.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go back with some other questions that I want to ask to you. You, I think, mentioned about that in the presentation, but does JUMIA provide specialized guidelines, resources for sellers, and how we can access these guides and other useful sources? What kind of support is available for new sellers?
Yeah, so again, I mean, this is something that we will provide. So some of the information are already available on the vendor hub that I've shared at the end, the QR code that I've shared. Well, you'll have a number of data, like maybe also try to understanding what are the seasons in each market, because it's different than in Europe. What are the kind of sizes, colors, etc., that are the most sold in those regions. So this is the kind of information. Those are the kind of information that we're able to provide and to share with vendors and with new joiners.
I see. Excellent. I have questions about local and cultural constraints also. What local constraints might seller face in the product listing and labeling process? And what should they pay attention to in that process?
So, I mean, label in English, like any normal constraint that you'll have when you are exporting. So I don't think that there will be any specific issue, to be honest. We are used to work with Turkish partners and we have not faced so many, I mean, any issues in that kind of stuff. So when you're used to export products to other regions in the world, it's going to be the same rules.
I see. So it's very similar to traditional way of export,
Exactly.
and the language is gonna be in English
Yeah.
that they sell. I see. I have a note from your presentation also. You mentioned that there was a merchant that has no physical shop, but was able to penetrate into online to Nigeria, African market. This is very good example of the success of JUMIA and for the sellers, also for the exporters. Maybe it will be my last question, but then in which categories do Turkish companies stand out JUMIA? How can they get this success if they are gonna
So
be penetrate into, and what is gonna be what are your final recommendation
So again,
that they yeah.
and this is also why I'm spending time on building relationship, and I'm traveling to Istanbul on a quarterly basis, every 3 months, meeting with vendors and partners, because Turkey is a country that is able to manufacture good products, good quality products at affordable prices. And this is exactly what we are looking for. And by providing that and with a constant supply, this is where you will win in those markets where supply, assortment, pricing, supply, and constant supply is the biggest battle. Okay. There are many brands that are not able to maintain that regular basis on that regular shipments and supply in Africa. So when you're able to do that, you win. And that's what we've seen, for example, with De facto in Nigeria, is that they are able to provide this kind of, product large assortment prices. And that's how you win easily, because the competitive landscape is quite poor. And again, on the categories that where I see a big potential and where I see Turkey strengths is home and fashion. But again, it's possible that maybe there are some other categories that can also, where also Turkey has a good products that will be also that will also be able to sell well in Africa. But this is where today I see the biggest opportunity, home and fashion.
I see. Thank you, Richard. Yeah. Yeah, I think I asked a lot of questions to you, and your presentation and your answers to questions was all very clear to us. I want to say a special thank you, Richard. Thank you being with us in this Friday evening also. Do you want to add anything else, or are you excited about visiting Turkey this time for IGEXX, our summit?
I'm always very excited to visit Turkey and Istanbul. Always very excited to be able to have like good fish on the Bosphore.
Wow.
And I'm even more excited this time because honestly, and again, congratulations, the organization so far and the implication and everything has been like amazing. So I'm really looking forward like to have this amazing event in 10 days now.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. So, as a conclusion remark, I can say that I invite everyone to join us at the Istanbul Global e-Export Summit on September 4th and 5th at the Haliç Congress Center. It's an excellent opportunity to network and learn more about global e-export strategies, and we will have Richard and a lot of different representatives from global marketplaces. Have a great evening and see you all at IGEXX.
Thank you. Bye bye.